The idea of this channel here is to give advice or just my experience, not really concrete advice, take everything I say with a grain of salt, but just my experience in life and how things have gone from my perspective. I'm not claiming to say that I know everything, but I think I know a little bit. When I was younger, I always wanted to be friends with somebody that was older, that had gone through the stuff that at the time I was going through, mentally, environmentally. And that's what I want this to be. I remember when I was younger, I latched onto a YouTube channel called The Amazing Atheist, which was this guy doing rants, angry rants basically, because I was raised as an atheist, and he would complain a lot and speak a lot of shit. Some of it was, you could say it was kind of true, but most of what he was doing was emotionally jacking off and mentally jacking off and ranting and complaining about negative stuff. And I got sucked into that, and I was entertained by that, and I thought I knew something because of that. And that wasn't the case. I was listening to him, and I learned to parrot his thoughts, because like my father gave me his perspective, and I wanted to parrot that, although the things that he said were so in contrast to what I felt in my intuition that it was difficult for me to even come to an understanding of the things that my father was saying to me. And when I did, it was just so against my own nature that it was difficult to live, because I tried to live that out. So what I want to do here is tell you my life experiences from my perspective, obviously, as it will be for anybody. And, where I've been, where I'm going, and what I think about it all. Your words, thoughts, and emotions, there's a triangle between your actions, your thoughts, and your emotions. They all influence each other. That's one triangle. Now, everything is nuance. Nothing is concrete. Nothing is, totally concrete. There are sciences and certain things that are pretty concrete, like math, that makes sense, and pretty infallible. But, like, when it comes to perspectives or philosophies, different philosophies work different for different people. Everybody isn't equal in the sense that everybody isn't the same. Now, there's a lot of things that I'm going to say that you might think go without saying, but they don't. Like that. Like, people should be treated equally. If you are a resident of a nation, you should be treated equally to the other residents of the nation, whether you're a man, a woman, straight, gay, black, white, doesn't matter. If you're a resident of a nation, you should be treated equally, right? But that doesn't mean that we are all equal. That would mean that we are all the same, that we all have the same thoughts, that we're all the same person. Not true. We all have deficiencies, but we all have things that we're good at. And that's what's important, is the positive side of that. We all have things we're better at than other people, kind of. Like, I do well with working with my hands. You could say that I was genetically born to do, is go work on a farm or go do stuff with my hands in that matter. And therefore I have a lot of energy that is ready to be placed in the physical realm to use my hands to change the world around me. And I like, at the end of the day, to say, okay, to see what I've done, to see what I've changed, to see what I've influenced. When I say that we're all meant to work together and that we're all better at certain things and worse at others, I think the simplest example of that is between men and women. Between men and women, okay, the man, by and large, with the masculine energy, is meant to go out and first create a defensive layer so that you have a barrier between the home space and the outside space. And then to go out and do the hunting and go out and do the hard labor within the community as well, like to do farming and to do those things, the hard labor, physically straining, because we have testosterone. We have the hormones within us to deal with the physical stress on a more constant basis. And then with the women, they are biologically meant to foster children more. They're meant to spend more time with the children because they birth the children, right? So they have the body to birth the child. So they also are meant to spend more time in the home space, to keep the home space clean, to maybe, not necessarily, but focus on stuff like cooking, you know. Why do you think that the whole make me a sandwich bitch kind of trope is such a big insult when I came growing up? Like, it's such a joke, a bad joke of treating women with disrespect as if they just belong in the kitchen and they just belong doing this. And that is totally not what I'm saying. And that is a disgusting straw man argument for what I'm saying, you know. The gifts that women provide to this earth are profound, are beautiful. I would say women are more inclined to art. They have more emotional depth than most men do, you know. They create more of they have a different energetic space to them that they can clean out an area energetically and physically, you know, a way that a man might not be tuned into, you know. Like, just think of it like this, like, yeah, there's certain men and women that have dirty houses, but let's say you got a man living alone versus a woman living alone. In this situation, I'm talking about in general terms what you would consider, anybody off the street would consider a man versus a woman's house to look like if they're living alone in a studio apartment, what the difference is going to be, what the average is going to be. You know, the man doesn't have very many furnishings. The man maybe doesn't clean stuff as well. He doesn't take care of his diet as well. The woman is probably going to have a different, if she's healthy, a different setup in her house. She might have it cleaner. She might have more furnishings. She might have more of a feng shui to the house, you know, because the men are thinking more about the work and the simple matters, what we could call simple matters, and the women are thinking about the more emotional depth and the influence that the environment that she's